Hello everyone. Today, let's say, we will cook a delicious porridge, also called a mask porridge. In principle, I cook such porridge in nature, when I go fishing there, for example, or just go out into nature. Why? Because this is a very satisfying dish and this is called chumash porridge. It is somewhat similar to kulesh, which I don't remember cooking already. I didn't cook here, but nevertheless, I didn't cook. Most likely this dish will be here on my channel. Here, well, in order to cook, let's say, it's easier than simple, in fact. The simplest dish I've ever cooked in my life. Let's go. Well, we'll need just nothing. This is a piece of bacon, millet, onion, mushrooms, salt and pepper. Ground pepper is usually black. Well, first of all I'll soak the mushrooms. Why? Because they are dry, porcini mushrooms. Well, I'll soak them for about half an hour. Our dish is considered southeastern, yes, from the southeast of Ukraine, then how can there be no fat? Lard should be exactly lard, that is, without any streaks, without anything, because well, in principle it should be tender and not greasy. Why? Because we need to melt it and get lard out of it. You can of course cook this porridge with sunflower oil or butter, unless of course there is no fat. But as a rule, on all sorts of hikes, yes, on fishing trips, then on the other 10th. Well, you need to take lard even without lard. Of course, you need to take lard and therefore you need to cook porridge on lard. We cut the fat, yes, with some pieces. You can cut it into squares. I'm cutting it up. And the onion. In principle, the onion head is needed. It is no longer necessary, since I make only 3 or 4 servings. Here, and porridge, by the way, is basically a self-sufficient dish, so you need to use it as a side dish, or you can use it simply as. Just like a dish. I'll also cut it up like this so that it's like pork rinds, right? And we'll cut that too. So. Oh, beauty. And now it's all going to the frying pan. Of course, you can do it all on a pot. I'll cook it. Almost on the wish list. It will be, at home, but because we naturally have problems with gas, problems with light, problems with everything. That's why we survive. Therefore, it is necessary to cook on fire at home. That's it. I think it's enough with such pieces. You can certainly do less, but as always I'm used to cutting everything large, which for some reason, so that the onion especially was so slightly crispy. Well, although there will be no crispy porridge with this one. Therefore, now we will prepare and start cooking the porridge itself. So, we are the first to send the fat here. We need to melt it. We need to turn it into crusts. It has almost melted and now we will throw the onion. Here is enough fat to fry both onions and mushrooms. Beauty. Of course, it's better to do everything in a pot, but since now there are already all the problems with this and I cook in a frying pan. Therefore, in principle, Altuka should do it all super dough. I'll add a little salt and be sure to pepper it all. Pepper, sharpen, sharpen. I don't see that. Just less pepper, more pepper. Here throws more pepper and be sure to mix. So 2 more minutes and we'll continue. So, 5 minutes have passed. Millet. Here I have 1 glass of millet. I washed it, we add it here. So. And mix. Now the average fire is not a strong fire and a small fire, but an average light. And let's give this millet a little bit, literally 3 or 4 minutes to swell in our so-called sauce. Literally 3 or 4 minutes and cover it with a lid. And let's give well 5 minutes one good. That's it. Just now they have brought it to such a state when it needs to be turned off. Or if we do it really in a cauldron, then we just top up everything with water. We are preparing further accordingly. And now we are doing it differently. And now we're taking a glapper like this, right? Cast iron bunny. And we throw something that we cooked in a frying pan into this bunny. Great. Mushrooms, lard, twig, porridge, this is what you need. Now I'll add 2 glasses of water here. Here, in principle, a glass of cereals, as it were, yes, and a glass, 2 glasses of water, in order for our porridge to be like porridge. Now mix, mix well. And close the lid. In principle, when cooking, as if yes, when you cook, well, melt the fat, as if yes, these pork rinds can basically be taken away. That is, they chose it for pork rinds, and then, at the end, yes, serve it with pork rinds. Well, in principle, I do prick, so you can do it this way, or you can do it this way. It's up to you. So, let's prepare a platform. So. Oh. I think for about 20 to 25 minutes. So, 5 minutes have passed here. Boiling. We won't interfere with anything yet. I leave it. So, well, now we must definitely prevent anything from burning down there. I thought another 2 or 3 minutes and should get. So, well, in principle, it's ready, but not quite. Now we get it like this. And that's it. And we just put it like this. Well, for another 10 minutes. I think it's basically ready. You can take the whole thing off the stove. And actually I do it. Well, in principle, the porridge is ready, but there is one caveat. Let's leave it for another 15 minutes, so that it just stands in cast iron. Why? Because the cast iron is hot, and let it exactly stand just by itself. So, the porridge is infused. We apply a plate. Oh, what a beauty. Of course I would still hold her, but I think that will be enough. Here is such a portion, 300 grams, 250, 300. Oh, bimba. The product is ready, as you can see, yes. The smell of the bomb is simple, just super. Well, now I have to say goodbye to you, because I have to eat porridge. Here, and, in fact, I expect some comment from you under this video, to write how you cook such porridge. Maybe you do it differently, maybe you do it with meat. Be sure to like it. Here, you must subscribe to the channel. Well, see you again. For now.